Kin gathered close at the hearth, where the fire's warmth guards our shared breath. Hear me now. What becomes of the household if the young chase fleeting shadows at the river crossing, daubing their heads with strange hardening clays to draw strangers' glances, while the fields lie idle and the young shoots wither untended?
Already the embers flicker low as one among us, strong in youth, turns from the plow to wander those distant banks.
Will the unnatural weight upon her brow steady her steps, or drag her from the labor that binds kin through seasons?
In the workshop by dawn's first light, she mixes resins from afar, thick pastes borrowed from passing merchants, poured into hidden hollows beneath the scalp to raise the crown like a false hillock.
Hours pass as she binds her ears with odd props of softened wood and fillers, shaping them to jut like wind-twisted branches, all to mimic the favored forms that pull gifts from the crowd.
The kin watch, hands idle on looms and sickles, her tools gather dust, and the first question rises from the elder's gaze, who now mends the nets when the fisher's daughter seeks only the murmur of outsiders' praise.
By midday at the riverbank market, where traders barter wool and grain, she spins tales under the sun, her altered crown gleaming to catch eyes amid the throng.
Gifts trickle in dried fish, a handful of seeds, but the heavy clay shifts with each nod, fogging her thoughts like mist over the water, while barren patches creep where growth once held.
Youths from nearby hearths follow, daubing their own heads with hasty fillers that swell and wander like unchecked floods, spreading to cheeks and brows.
The question echoes from a child's wide eyes: if the young pour their strength into such burdens, whose hands will guard the flock from the evening chill?
Days turn to a full moon's cycle, and strain ripples to the pastures where goats bleat unanswered.
She returns weary, limbs heavy as burdened stone, unable to lift the water jar or chase strays. The unnatural resins harden unyielding, pulling aches through her frame like roots twisted in poor soil.
Kin networks whisper at council circles reciprocity frays as shared labors falter, one hearth's unfed fire borrowing from another's storehouse till both grow lean.
Elders sit with untouched bowls, their stories of seed saving unheard amid the youth's fret over sagging props and wandering fillers.
From the boundary stones an old one's voice calls, when the clays crack and props loosen, leaving scalps scarred and bare as frostbitten earth, who transmits the skill of weaving tight thatch against winter's bite.
Seasons wheel onward, fields at the settlement's edge turning to brambles as more chase the crossing's lure, neglecting the rotation of crops that once fed 3 generations.
Household trusts, splinter youths hoard gathered seeds for their wanderings, reciprocity dies like a cold fire, and children forage alone, while altered kin fatigue in distant haze.
Neighborhood paths grow untrodden, storehouses echo empty, for labor chases illusions that fade with the light.
A youth, ears propped wide as a startled hare's, questions the wind, if we bind our forms to strangers' whims, forsaking the plow's steady rhythm, what guards the young against lean years when elders' wisdom lies forgotten?
Years compound the echo, land stewardship crumbling like unbound walls.
Burial grounds whisper of voices now missing from the circle lineages, thinned as skills vanish with the hail who once taught bow-making and herb-binding.
Pastures overgrow with thorns, rivers run unchecked by nets, households fracture into lone wanderers bearing heavy crowns that no kin can ease.
The elders, sight pierces the gloom, untended earth yields no bounty, and the unnatural burdens, fused like stone to bone, leave bearers adrift, their labors lost to the dust.
Hear the final word from ancestors' unyielding gaze: kin, at this hearth, persistent chasing such shadows, and households shatter like storm-split timber, elders forsaken with cold bowls, children hungry amid brambles, trusts withered as dry roots, skills scattered like wind-blown chaff, lands barren under idle feet, and lineages faded to echoes, their fires quenched forever in the endless night.
Turn now to the plow, the loom, the shared watch, lest all be undone.
If echoes from the elders quicken your spirit by the communal flame, bear them forth into the light of day, voice them aloud, weave them into the tales of kin, and lend your steadfast gaze to their unfolding.
Every whisper passed from hand to hand fortifies the chain of seeking, nourishing the toil of insight that binds ages in unbroken weave.
Let your words join the gathered throng, sustaining the quest for what lies true, probing the depths of your own being and the woven fates of the lands we hold in trust.
Etch your signs upon the common ground, in spoken thoughts or etched remembrances, and tread the trails our forebears marked toward wellsprings of knowing.
Understand that in upholding this shared burden, you guard its flame, and the wisdom of those who came before flows onward through the turning years.